Good morning, everyone. The Chief Executive will first speak before answering questions. Please don't ask more than 2 questions when you raise your questions. Chief Executive, good morning. I have a couple of things to say to you today. First, Article 23 of the Basic Law legislation. The public consultation of the legislation started a week ago. I said at the time when I launched the public consultation that there will be a number of briefing sessions conducted. In the past week, the Secretary for Justice and the Secretary for Security have conducted briefing sessions on the 2 legal bodies, financial sector, district councillors, district care teams, and district personalities. And I've also said that apart from local bodies, we will also conduct briefing sessions to foreign bodies. This afternoon, I will personally chair a briefing session for consulates, foreign chambers of commerce, and their representatives. I'll go over the details of the legislation. I'll answer questions. The S4J and the S4S will also attend. I said that all economic and social activities will have to be conducted with the support of a stable society. We want to ensure investment and business environment for Hong Kong so that Hong Kong can continue to be a competitive international city. I've met with a number of bodies, including local chambers of commerce, which express their support for the legislation. They said that a vigorous and stable legal basis is the element for success for our city. I would like to emphasize the 3 legislative principles. The priority under one country, 2 systems is to ensure the sovereignty, development interest, and security of our country. Secondly, ICCPR, ICESCR rights are respected and protected in Hong Kong. They continue to apply in Hong Kong, so the freedom of assembly, demonstration, march, the press, religion, and speech will continue to be protected. And thirdly, activities that undermine national security will be prevented and punished in accordance with the law. There is a general consensus in our society. Legislation for Article 23 will be completed as soon as possible. The Hong Kong SAR will continue to conduct briefing sessions. We welcome views. Regarding the Inter-Miami FC game last Sunday, just like other members of the public, I express my deep disappointment for the absence of Messi. The organizer has withdrawn its application for funding, but we still would like to hear from them about details of what happened, and we would like them to respond to public aspiration and demands. The government has conducted a lot of coordination work. Assistance has been rendered to the organizer to make sure that the game would be conducted smoothly. The experience will have an impact on our work. When the event is funded by public money, it is the duty of the government to supervise it to make sure the public money is well used. Colleagues in the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau monitor the organization of the event and try to render assistance as far as possible. The government stay in contact with the organizer to make sure that everything will be conducted smoothly. Messi did not play the game as expected. Yesterday, the Secretary for CST has already given an explanation outlining the suggestions and requests made by the government. Say, for example, asking the organizer to make immediate arrangements for Messi to speak and explain. The organizer did not accede to any of the requests made by the government. We're all very disappointed. The CSTB has responded swiftly to what happened. After meeting with the Bureau, the organizer took the initiative to withdraw the funding application under the Denmark event. The Bureau will continue to urge the organizer to positively respond to public demand. These demands include disclosing the arrangements with Inter Miami FC and to respond to the requests of ticket holders. Hong Kong has organized a number of international events and they've all been very successful. The crux of the problem this time is that public demand was not properly responded. A lot of people were disappointed. This event shows the responsibility that have to be taken up by the organizer. The organizer talked to Inter Miami FC. The organizer should realize the importance to disseminate information to the public to meet expectations. I've asked the CSTB as well as the Major Sports Events Committee to review what happened this time and to take stock of the duties they have in the future. Say, for example, they should ask organizers to prepare a contingency plan, a backup plan, to make improvements and to make sure that there will be timely dissemination of information so that the public will know what is going on before they make a decision. Hong Kong is a city of hospitality. We welcome different organizers to hold events here. Just like any other places, Hong Kong will use major events to promote and develop our economy. This is a competitive area. Hong Kong has to be proactive. The government will continue to get major events to take place here to create opportunities for everyone. This continues to be our goal. We will continue with our work. Lastly, I would like to thank our footballers of the Hong Kong team. They've done very well. They've shown a team spirit and sportsmanship. I am grateful for their participation.
The floor is now open. If you want to ask questions, please raise your hand. When you're called, please first introduce the media outlet you represent, and please don't ask more than 2 questions. At the back on the right-hand side, this reporter. I'm from TVB, Chief Executive. The organizer withdrew his application for the grant. Is it that it's impossible to take it up with the organizer now, since the government no longer has a major role to play? Ticket holders are demanding refunds. How will the government intervene? Now, there has been extensive publicity for this event. Did the government expedite the vetting of application to ensure that this mega event could take place? And do you think that this event somewhat put a dent on our reputation, and would it affect other mega events? The organizer has decided to withdraw the application for the M-mark status and the relevant grant, the organizer, nevertheless, remains responsible. They are responsible for those who have purchased tickets to see the show. The government will continue to urge the organizer to give a detailed account of the event and actively respond to the request of ticket holders. We've received complaints. For example, the Customs and Excise Department received close to 100 complaints, and the Consumer Council received 200 complaints. So both the Customs and Excise Department and the Consumer Council will actively follow up on these complaints and in the process consider what the organizer can do to fulfill their obligations. In terms of the deal and the communication between the organizer and Inter-Miami CF, as well as how the government's requests and demands were handled or not handled, we'd like to have a detailed account so as to address the concerns and queries raised by the community. Now, as far as this exhibition match with Inter-Miami CF is concerned, just like any other mega event, we take a very proactive attitude to ensure the smooth conduct of the events in Hong Kong. That is why the government has been providing assistance in different ways. We'd like to see more major events happening in Hong Kong. This does not only bring direct benefits to our society, this will also make Hong Kong a more attractive and competitive place. Around the world, different places are competing for the hosting of major events. It is highly competitive. So it is only right for the government to expedite any application for major events. But we need to make sure that every step along the way, things are done properly. That means clearer instructions should be given, and we need to make sure that these instructions or requests are clearly stipulated in the contract. The CST Bureau and the Major Sports Events Committee will conduct a review on this event and on measures to enhance consumer protection and the public's right to know. So we'll take this matter very seriously, and then we will continue to improve the arrangements. What is important is that information should be disseminated in a clear, accurate, and timely manner for the benefit of the public. These events may have their own features, but it is the organizer's responsibility to ensure timely delivery of information. The success of a major event has everything to do with Hong Kong's image. Of course, we'd like events to be held successfully. But after all, different events come with different features. And people may choose where to go to take part in these events. That is why we must continue to strive for more events to take place in Hong Kong. We must also be a good gatekeeper. That is why a review will be conducted so that we can make improvements. Next question on the left-hand side.
Questions from the South China Morning Post. Firstly, an investigation by the Post has found that nearly 90% of houses in 3 upmarket estates have encroached on government land, with most of them having suspected and authorized structures as well. What is the government's progress in inspecting other luxury estates as promised after the Red Hill Peninsula saga, and will consider inspecting all these detached luxury residences to show its determination in rectifying this unfair problem? Secondly, how will the government enhance its supervision of the M-Mark events going forwards to prevent a repeat of the Messi fiasco, and will it facilitate and handle the request for refunds since the organizer has not addressed this as well? Thank you.
In regard to unauthorized building structures, the government has already made its policy very clear. There will be a risk-based approach because of the large number of buildings involved. And we will set priorities in accordance with the scale of the problem, the seriousness of the problem, particularly the safety consideration and environmental hazard consideration. We will set our priorities in this way so that we can address what we considered are the unauthorized illegal structures that deserves our early attention. We will continue to inspect and also take action in accordance with these priorities. In regard to the saga relating to Inter-Miami exhibition match on Sunday, it is, of course, very undesirable and extremely disappointing for this to happen in such a way that the public expectation of Messi showing up and playing in the match did not materialize. What is important in this case is, first of all, we will keep on urging the organizer to explain to the public in detail what actually happened, what were the details of the agreement between them and the team, and also why, in the course of the communication of the government, despite all the suggestions and demands made by the government, nothing materialized. While the organizer has withdrawn his application for the M+, for the M status, and also withdrawn their application for the subsidy for the sponsorship, they still have the responsibility to explain to members of the public, particularly those who have bought tickets, to get into the stadium to watch the match. It is their responsibility to explain and also to answer to the demands of those who have bought the tickets. And it's also its responsibility to answer to the disappointment of all the audiences there, in particular those young children who were there with full passion and hope. The government will continue to urge him to do what he is required to do. Also, Custom and Excise departments, as well as the Consumer Council, have received numerous reports regarding the complaints of what the complainant experienced. It will be all these complaints will be examined in detail according to the contents of the complaint, and will be dealt with accordingly by these two organizations. Then the CSTB will continue to review this incident and also to examine the way forward to ensure how we will ensure that in future that the right protection of Hong Kong's interest is ensured, such as there will be a contingency plan well prepared ahead of the actual event, and good, accurate, and timely information will be disseminated by the organizer so that people will know the progress and make their own assessment as how they will participate in all these events. We will continue to promote and organize large-scale activities in Hong Kong, because this is important for Hong Kong, for economic reason, for promoting Hong Kong's image, and also promoting Hong Kong's competitiveness. But we will, in due course, also ensure that we will have the right mechanism in place to ensure that if public money is spent, then they will be properly scrutinized, and there will be a good supervision system to ensure that the rights of the people who will be participating, and also the overall interests of Hong Kong, are well protected. We'll continue to work towards that goal.
時間關係呢，我哋請今朝嘅最後一位提。
We'll take the last reporter's question. I'm from Now TV. The organizer has withdrawn the funding application. Will you just leave it at that, or will you pursue in other areas? Will you review the M-Mark event experience? The organizer doesn't have experience. Will you adjust the application criteria or impose pecuniary or sanctions? In the Chinese New Year, there will be a number of mega events. Will there be cross-departmental meetings? What about crowd management? Will there be some other plans in place to cater for the situation? We will review the approval mechanism of mega events. The CSTB and the Major Sports Events Committee will review the incident. They will also look at their duty to supervise and to organize. Mega events bring huge benefits to Hong Kong. There are economic benefits and other benefits. We compete with other cities in this highly competitive area. We will continue with our work to get mega events to come to Hong Kong. At the same time, we will improve our mechanism to handle mega event applications for funding. We'll also look at the obligations and rights of organizers. We will take stock of our experience at this time. We will look at them in detail. We look at the different elements involved in an event. We do understand that it's very important to disseminate information in a timely manner. Regarding other arrangements of major events, or the different festivities over the Chinese New Year, the Chief Secretary yesterday conducted a meeting on mega events, important festive days, as well as cross-boundary traffic and transport arrangements. The police, the transport department, and other relevant departments will give you more details in relation to traffic arrangements over the Chinese New Year. That is, from Chinese New Year's Eve to the 4th day of the Chinese New Year. They will give the information tomorrow. Over the Chinese New Year, there will be round-the-clock customs clearance on Chinese New Year's Eve and the 2nd day of Chinese New Year. Lowell Station will have its operating hours extended by 2 hours. Visitors and Hong Kong people, I believe, will cross boundary over these days, so there is demand. We will make manpower deployment and traffic deployment as necessary. You will hear about it tomorrow in a press conference, and we will also answer questions. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.